Got 403 and took him out for kill number 2. Tank raced across there, led him enough and hit him. Hi guys, and welcome to World of Tanks Review. I'm Buddy1927, and today I'm reviewing the T28 Prototype. So, this tank is actually a pretty good tank. I will give you a word of warning. When I first started playing this tank, my goal was to get to the T110E4, which I have done. But my goal when I got this tank and started playing this tank, the first two guns on this was actually horrible. And I did some damage, but I was also getting a lot of tier 10 battles. When I got the top, and I almost quit because it seemed like it took forever to grind and grind and grind to get to the tier 10 gun on this thing. And to get to the T30. But once I got the tier 10, I actually started falling in love with this. When I got the tier 10 gun on this, I actually fell in love with this tank. It is a pretty good tank. Let's take a look at the tech tree real quick. Of course, you start off with a T1, you go to the T18 tank destroyer line, and you come up to the M8A1, to T49, to the Hellcat, to the T25, to the Prototype. Or from the T82 you can also go to the T40, to the Wolverine, then up to the Hellcat and down through the line. So that's not bad. There's one disadvantage about going down the American tank destroyer line that the other lines actually have an advantage on. The French, German, and Russian TD lines all have premium tanks that you can actually take your crews out of this tank and put them in to help grind your crews up. Unfortunately, in the American tank destroyer line, there is no premium tanks. So the only way you can grind your crews is to actually play the tanks. So what I did when I started going down the line, I hopped the crews from one tank to the other tank to the other tank. The crew I currently have on here is not the original crew. That crew ended up on my T110E4 crew, and I think they have 3 perks right now. So that was one of the disadvantages of this line. Let's go over let's get this set up so you can see this a little bit clearer. Let's go over the specs of this tank, and I'll blow them up for you. Now, this does come with 1,150 hit points, 510 horsepower. You gotta watch out for this tank. This tank is so fast. It goes 18 kilometers per hour. This is one of the slowest tank destroyers. But you do have advantage because of the low speed. You do have some good armor. The traverse speed on this is actually 20 degrees per second. The front hull on this is 203, so you got a lot of armor on the front, but you got to protect your sides and your rear. They're only 50 millimeters each. Now, the turn on this is actually pretty well turned, pretty well taken care of. At 203, 127, 101. We'll go over the gun a little bit later. The traverse speed is 18 degrees per second. Now, the base, we can see that a little bit better here. The base view range on this is 380. With the stereoscopes or binocs on it, it maxes 475 meters. Signal range on this is 745. With my crew I currently have on it is 777. So that's not bad. Now, there's a couple things I want to point out on this thing. Okay, now this front of this tank has some pretty good armor on it, like It says 203 millimeters of armor, and it is slightly angled. Okay, you do have a weak spot right here on the front, this machine gun here. What you want to try to do is, if you can get this protected, because you got good slope here on this tank, as you can see right here, you got a good slope. So if you can get this mainly flat spot plus this gun covered and protected, you got a chance of a lot of ricochets. The turret on this thing, front of this turret, is 203 millimeters of armor also. The sides on it is 127. And take a look at the sides. They're angled both up and down all the way across until you get to this section right here. And on the rear you got 101 millimeters of armor. The thing you mainly got to be cautious of is arty. You got open cockpit. If you have an arty round that hits you right here, you're dead. The other thing on this thing, this turret does not turn complete 360 degrees. Because when you turn, it actually gets stopped right here and right here. So it's a little over 90 degrees of traverse on both sides. So you can't turn this turret all the way around. So if you got somebody who's coming in behind you, you got to turn the tank around, or at least turn it around to enough where you can shoot at a 90-degree angle, but then you leave your sides open. So you got to be wary of that too. Now, I do have camouflage paint painted on this permanently. I do have my crews currently training on camouflage, but I do something a little bit different than because of this tank. Once I get my commander to 100% in camouflage, I'm going to drop camouflage and put 6th Sense on this tank. So at least he has 6th Sense, but right now he's grinding because camouflage is, it goes up as it goes up. 6th Sense doesn't become activated until it's 100%, so at least I can take the advantage of the camouflage right now while I'm grinding that perk up. But one thing I'm actually doing is my driver is not learning camouflage. She's actually learning clutch braking because of that 20 degrees per second traverse on us. So with the clutch braking, it actually increases the traverse speed. So it's a little bit faster than 20 degrees per second. Sorry, clicked the wrong one. And let's see, I'll explain this to you. With clutch braking, for every 1%, it adds a 0.05 to the traverse speed. So once it reaches 100%, it adds an additional 5% to the traverse speed. So it will be roughly about 23 degrees per second. So it actually gives me about 3 degrees per second more on that. So that's not bad, and it's not a bad tank. I kind of enjoy it. Let's take a look at the gun on this thing. This is the max. This is the tier 10 gun on it. And guys, I'll tell you, like I said before, this grind is long, and because your first two guns are tier 8s, and they don't do much against tier 9s and tier 10 tanks. But once you get this tier 10 gun on it, it's a totally different tank, and you will enjoy playing it. It just takes a while to grind those tanks, and once you get a grind, hey, watch out. Now, this is a 120 caliber gun. It does 5.94 rounds per minute, so a little less than 6 rounds per minute. Average penetration on this is 248, 297, and 60. Average damage on this is 400, 400, and 515. And this gun is actually somewhat accurate at 0.39 at 100 meters. Average aiming time on this gun is 2.3 seconds. It carries AP, APCR, and high explosives. So that's the tank. that's the gun on this tank. Like I said, when you get to you'll see a big change in this gun. The other thing on this, let's go back to the cruise for a second. Because I don't have the T28 researched yet, I can't check off my crew acceleration. So most of my experience is going towards that. So once I get that T28 research, I can check off my crew acceleration, and all that experience will go to my crews, which helped me grind my crews up a lot better. Okay, let's take a look at what I actually carry on this thing. I carry binocular telescopes, which gives me a 25% boost to my view range up to a total of 500 meters. With this tank, it's 475 meters right now because my crews are still grinding up. The other thing I carry on here is enhanced gun lane drive. That gives me a 10% speed, adds 10% to the aiming speed, which helps me out. And I also carry the large caliber gun rammer, which gives me a 10% to my loading time. So that 5.94 rounds per minute actually gives me about 6 seconds now to my 6 rounds per minute instead of 5.94 rounds per minute. So these are pretty good equipment. Now, because I don't have a camouflage net on this guy, I do have my tank permanently camouflaged, and my crews majority of my crews are currently learning camouflage. So that helps me out a lot. Now, that's the tank overall. I enjoy playing this tank. And once you get to the tier 10 tank, you will understand how this tank actually performs. It actually performs pretty good. So I do have a clip of this tank in action, so let's take a look at the replay. I will see you all on the other side. Hi guys, and welcome to World of Tanks.
Let's get this show on the road.
I'm Buddy 1927, and today I'm in my T28 Prototype Tier 8 tank destroyer in the American turreted line. And let's see, we're on steps. We have a 47% chance of winning, and let's see what we can do. I'm going to speed things up a little bit until we get into some action here. Okay, we got a couple targets targeted, and I'm going to play this. I'm going to kind of defend the base and also be able to shoot almost halfway across the map. If I can get some targets. There's a target. Shot and miss on that KV5. Loaded and hit the KV5. Thinks he's safe? He's still not safe. Okay. Score 0-1. Let's see if we can get a shot off on him. Hit him. He needs to have enough of his turn sticking up so I can get a shot on him. Looks like the main force went down the 1-2 line, and it looks like that line's about ready to fall. Shot and miss. Now, this tank actually has, for a TD, actually has a pretty good reload time. Shell falls short and hits the ridge just in front of the tank I was aiming at. Scores 1-3 right now. We're not doing too good right now. Got my first kill. Got the little gnat. I hate those tanks. They're like little gnats. I got no shots on those. It looks like the 9 line's about ready to fall. Let's see if I can get a shot on that tank. There he is. Got him. 403 and took him out for kill number 2. Tank racing across there. Let him enough and hit him. Hit him again. Now he's tracked. Just waiting for my reload. And took him out. Kill number 3. So, looks like the 9 line has gone. And we're actually winning now. It's now 10-6. Got some SPGs there. Looks like they're going to be able to take them out. Checking the other side. See if I can get a shot on him. Okay, they've cleared that. And now I'm going to actually come about. It's 14-18. Got 1 tank left. Oops. Got 1 tank left. Let's see if we can find him. There he is. Shot and miss. He's aiming at me. I take a hit of 392. Hit him. Hit him. He's tracked, and I put him out of his misery. That's kill number 4 for me, and that definitely was a victory overall. As you can see, that definitely was a victory. I did receive Tanker 2nd Class High Caliber. I shot a total of 15 times according to XVM with 11 hits for a 73.33% hit ratio. Let's take a look at the team score overall. And of course, luckily I had top damage with 3,725 damage, 4 kills. Metal on Metal 2 in the Hellcat did 2,091 with 1 kill. On the other team, their highest did 1,650. Nathan TP, Nathan's TP, I don't know, in the IS6. But take a look at the teams. We had a 48% chance of winning. They had the more power. We had 4 tanks that did over 1,000 damage. We had 1 tank that did over 2,000 damage, and I did over 3,000 damage. They had 4 tanks that only did over 1,000 damage. So we did the more damage. We actually played good. So you never can tell. XVM can be wrong. So never go by what XVM says. Let's take a look at the final stats here. Okay, I shot a total of 15 times with 11 hits, 11 penetrations for a total of 3,725. 2,861 of it was over 300 meters. I damaged 6 tanks, destroyed 4 of them. I received 1 penetration hits. After ammunition repair, I received 23,523 in credits, which is good. Tier 8, hey, I made money, 23,000. Now this was not a ×2. I did receive 1,258 research experience, which went straight to my tank, because right now I'm grinding for the T28. I have gone down the American Turner line. I have the E4, and now I'm taking a shortcut and trying to, from the T28 I can go down to the from the T28 Prototype I can go down to the T28, which is the non-Turner line, and I'm going to end up going there. So that's not bad at all. Now the T28 Prototype is actually a good tank. It's slow, but it has that big gun. And the other thing about it, it has good armor. So it is a good tank. If you know where to hit it, yes, you can do some damage to it. If you don't know where to hit it, you're going to do a lot of bouncing. So the T28 is actually a pretty good tank overall. I enjoy playing it. I just wish I could play it a little bit more than what I have been. But now I'm getting to grind down the non-turret in line, so I've been playing this a little bit more, and I actually have had some excellent battles in it. Both win and losses, but I've always tried to be up top. So it's a good tank overall. If you like this video, please like us on YouTube. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to my channel. I thank you again for watching, and save some tanks on the battlefield for me.